stone unturned. That doesn't mean if it's somebody else's son, they shouldn't give the same attention to it. But half the time when we see such accidents happen is usually due to lack of fund or lack of power that would make a family pursue justice or chase a proper investigation to the death of a loved one. But we're talking about Davido here. We're talking about one of the rich and powerful people or in Nigeria here. So we expect more people to be called in because Eniola Badamus is Davido's childhood friend and close friend and brother. Like, they're really tight friends. And now she has been called in by the police regarding Davido's son's death. This goes to show you that nobody is spared here. So let's talk about how Eniola attends to this case. First thing first, it was said that she was the one who first posted the news that Ifeanyi, Davido's son, had passed. She was the first person and she was a reliable source. It's because, it's through her that everybody mostly got this information. Remember, Davido or Chioma did not announce it. So she is a close friend and she was the one who posted it on her story. And even though she took it down from people bullying her or telling her to shut up, it turned out to be true, which means she had first-hand knowledge to the incident. A lot of people have asked who called the nanny? Who was she talking to on the phone that was so important that she had to move away from the child? Sources are saying it's Eniola Badamus, that she was the one that the nanny was speaking with on the phone when she ignored Ifeanyi. But then, how does this affect her? Put in mind again that she is very close to Davido. So her calling the nanny should not be a shocking thing, should not be a new thing. But there are layers to this incident that is making a lot of people raise eyebrows. And there is a conspiracy theory going around, a theory that is so strong and so powerful, even though I don't see any truth in it, but it's hard to ignore that there is a sense in it. We will talk about the conspiracy theory briefly, speak to you privately, move away from everyone, go somewhere where no one can hear you, or move away from Ifeanyi too. He's 3 years old, but he can hear and he can speak. I want to tell you something, then that is an issue. If Eniola gave that directive to the nanny specifically to move away from the boy and everyone else, it's going to make the conspiracy theory that is going around have a probability of it being true, because still I don't see it. It's all a coincidence to me. But if we're going to talk about it, then we should really talk about it. The conspiracy theory that's going around is suggesting that ever since Chioma and Davido got back, they were separated at the time, but they got back, bonded with their son. He is buying her a car. They're having the best time of their life. Their relationship is getting tighter. And seeing that she gave birth to a son for Davido, people are assuming that she is clearly the favorite wife or the favorite girlfriend or the next in line. And clearly the boy is going to be the one to inherit everything that Davido has, which automatically makes her and the boy a target, because let's face it, Davido is a hot cake. He's somebody that is sought after. So the theory is making it seem as though people really want to get Chioma out of the picture so that someone else can get in there. And one of the ways they thought that they could take Chioma out of the way was probably targeting the son. And when you look at the situation in which Ifeanyi lost his life, you can see that it's a pretty careless one. We've talked about whether a lot of people have been asking if there is no CCTV footage. Where is the CCTV footage? The thing is, if there is a CCTV footage, we won't see it, we won't know about it, we won't be told. So assuming there is a CCTV footage, it's going to be with the police. It's not going to be accessible to the public since it's relating to these people. But then again, you look at the situation in which Ifeanyi lost his life, you can see that it's a pretty careless one. We've talked about whether a lot of people have been asking if there is no CCTV footage. Where is the CCTV footage? The thing is, if there is a CCTV footage, we won't see it, we won't know about it, we won't be told. So assuming there is a CCTV footage, it's going to be with the police. It's not going to be accessible to the public since it's relating to these people. But then again, thinking about the conspiracy theory, you could assume that people are trying so hard to get at Davido. People are trying so hard to hurt him, and half the time they're going through people that are close to him. And when you look at the situation in which Eniola Badamus is being called in for, now called in, not arrested. A lot of sources and a lot of bloggers have said she has been arrested, but I think she's just being called in for questioning, because I'm starting to think the nanny is trying so hard to get away from the situation that she might be thinking about all the possible things to say. even if it means including saying that Eniola told her to move away from the child. It's now going to make it look like Eniola had a plan or had organized with someone to do something to Ifeanyi, which is, frankly, I don't think is plausible, but that is what it's going to make it look like. Let's be clear. I'm not saying that is what it is, but it's what is making it look like. Because if she's being called in for calling the nanny, how does that concern? Anybody could have called the nanny. Davido could have called the nanny. Anybody could have called the nanny and the nanny would have gone away. The point is the nanny should not have left the child. That's just a thing. You can pick a call in front of a 3-year-old child, give him a toy, put TV for him. But the fact that the nanny left this child for so long to speak with Eniola Badamus or whoever, it's making it seem like the call was a distraction so that whoever wanted to hurt Ifeanyi would do so. So that is what it's making it look like. That is what it's seeming like. Anyhow, we've not heard any word. This update is pretty recent. So we've not heard any word. This update is pretty recent. So we are looking to hear more updates. Now, another reason again why Eniola might be under fire regarding this Ifeanyi incident is because she was the one who first posted about it. And then she went to do a YouTube video about it. And so it's almost like she's milking the situation, but I guess since she's closer to the source, it might be sensitive for her as compared to the rest of us who are bloggers and we are just hearing what is being told. But that's it, guys. That's it. That's actually how Eniola is looking so far to relate to this unfortunate incident. But I think she will come out of it. I don't think it's anything. Yes, she may have been insensitive to make a YouTube video about it. I guess she was most likely just telling her own side of the story, and also maybe she would have to explain the phone call. All that has to be done is make sure that Nanny is not saying that Eniola gave her the specific directive to move away from the son, because if that is the case, then I think she's in big trouble. It might be your word versus my word, because Eniola can easily say, I did not tell you to move away from the son. I did not tell you to move away from anyone. I just called you to ask you how it's going and ask you what is happening. I did not tell you to move away from the child. And the nanny, being in this hot soup that she is, might choose to maintain her stance and claim that Eniola told her to move away from the son, which would make it seem like Eniola had an ulterior motive or a plan or had set up someone to do it when she told her. So this is how it's going to look bad for Eniola, and it's going to make the investigation longer because there is a conspiracy theory that people plotted for this to happen to Ifeanyi so that Chioma can be out of the picture. That is what is being said.